Welcome back to our Excel videos. This is the Excel exercise, extra credit exercise 4C regarding supplier selection. And in this, we're going to use what's called a weighted point evaluation system to calculate some weighted performance scores for 3 different firms. In this scenario, and we're going to do it in Excel so people can practice Excel skills. So Lincoln Lights is considering hiring one of 3 software firms to implement a new IT system. Lincoln Management has decided to evaluate the firms on 3 performance dimensions: reputation, skill level, and price. Weights for each of these dimensions, as well as for each of the supplier's performance ratings on a 1 to 5 scale, have been provided to us. So here are the weights under importance. Reputation, skill level, and price are our performance criteria dimensions. And this is the weighting of them, 20%, 40%, and 40%. And here is the actual performance of each company. So the way the weighted point system works is simply, as we've seen in other times in the course, is to put these weights together. And we can do that in an automated way in Excel because we can say equals a $sign in front of that C, okay, in front of C94, times Altrex's score, and, well, we get a 0.6 there. Because we put a $sign in front of that C, you can see it up here in the corner, because we put that $sign in, we can preserve this cell in our formula as we drag across. In the other cell, the D94, we'll drag over to E94 and F94 correspondingly as we come across to here and to here. Okay, so the 0.2 remains in all of the calculations because of the $sign, and the other 2 cells copy across. We can double check that, so let me highlight here. Yeah, equals $C94 times E94, which is correct, and $C94 times F94, which is correct. 0.2 times 0.5 is F. Now, we also can, because we have to always think about this carefully, but because of where that $sign is, it's not protecting the 94, right? The 94 can draw down. I think we're going to be able to grab all 3 of these puppy dogs and get to that corner drop and drag box and pull it down, because all these relationships that should stay correct as we go. This C94 should have turned into C95 right here. Let's see if it did. Yes, it did. And it should have turned into C96 here. Yes, it did. And the C96 should carry across, which it did. And the C95 should carry across, which it did. Here we have F95, and here we have F96. So, yeah, it worked perfectly. So then we would just add these up. Let's take the auto sum button, and it highlighted the right cells, so all we have to do is hit return. Excel guessed it correctly, and we can copy that across. So we start to see some efficiencies when we get used to using the auto sums and copying formulas, and we can build tables like this deliberately thinking, I'm just going to be able to copy this if I build it a certain way, right? If I put some structure in and I use the $signs and some of the macros that Excel offers, I can make creating a table like this very easy, right? So what did it tell us? If we did a good job with our criteria, our performance dimensions, and if we did our homework well, and these 1 through 5 scores are accurate and really reflect what these companies really have to offer, and if our performance rating here, this 20%, 40%, 40%, truly reflect how we feel and how we value those ratings, then these scores should be weighted point value scores telling us where we get the most value, right? The weighted point system. And it says source Altrix. So let's go by Altrix. So the part B of the question was, would the results change if each dimension had a weight of 1/3? Well, it'd be easy to figure out, wouldn't it? of course the results would change. And basically, if they all were weighted 1/3, there's no need to weight at all. We could just look at the totals from here. We won't learn any more by cutting all these numbers by 1/3, which is all we'd be doing is multiplying this times 0.3. We wouldn't be learning any more than just adding these up. So we could simply sum these. Let's see if it proves out correct. So there's 13 and 11 and 11. If we got rid of that little guy and unmerged that and uncentered it, put a few boxes in, we could test this. So let's say that this is equal to 0.33, and we say that this equals our total times 0.33, right? 4.29. And this equals our total times, there you are, 0.33, and this guy equals our total here times 0.33. 429, 363, C363, so Altrex still wins, which is what we had already without bothering with weighting at all. So yeah, weighting only matters when there's a difference. If I turn these all into 0.33, boom, 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 what do we have? 429, 363, 363, of course. Okay, so yeah, there's no sense in weighting something if the weights are identical. It makes no sense, does it? Whoops, 0.2 and 0.4 and 0.4 is what we had. There we go. Whoops, 0.4. So there you go. The answer to the question is, yeah, it would change, but it'd be a silly exercise, right? Because there's no sense in putting a weight on something if the weights are all identical. It's like an oxymoron. It's a waste of time. Okay, so that's our last extra credit module. I will be doing one other module in Excel here that wasn't in the extra credit, but is in the lecture and the homework, and I'll post that in this group as well, even though you don't need it for the Excel extra credit. I hope that was helpful for you, and have a good day.